Hey everybody, welcome back to Brainiac Baseball's 1984 Detroit Tigers season replay. Today's matchup is between the Seattle Mariners and the Detroit Tigers at Tiger Stadium. On the mound for the Mariners today is Floyd Bannister, whose record is 2-2 with a 4.04 ERA. And pitching for the Tigers today is Dan Petry, whose record is 2-1 with a 2.97 ERA. Okay, the Mariners, they spanked our bare bottoms yesterday, 9-2. It was a very frustrating game. Their starting pitcher, who was it, the left-hander, I already forgot his name. He had a no-hitter going into the fifth inning. We managed to get a couple hits in there. We scored a run or two, and by then it was over with. Alvin Davis had a home run and a double for the Mariners, and then Spike Owen hit his third home run of the year, and it was pretty much over. Bud Black, that's who it was. It was Buddy Black, who almost pitched, well, it was a perfect game, actually, through five before we finally got a hit. So it was one of those games where we just didn't have a chance right from the get-go. And Dave Rozema pitched a poor game, if I recall. I think he went 4 innings. He gave up 8 of the 9 runs. The other run was given up by our closer, Dave Smith, who was in there just getting an inning of work. So maybe today will be better. We have Dan Petry on the mound. He is technically the ace of our staff. He's got a higher rating than Jack Morris, and we have him in the number 1 spot. So we'll call Dan Petry our ace of the team. We have our final game of the month of April going on today. After today's game, we will have the end of the month standings and league leaders video. It'll be a separate video from today's game, and I may not even do that video until tomorrow, considering that we're in the middle of the playoffs for the Seattle Pilots, and we want that game to be played and uploaded today. So maybe tomorrow will be the end of the month video. We'll see how much time I have today, I guess. Let's go ahead and get started with today's game. As always, I appreciate everyone following along. Like and or subscribe to the channel. We're going to do a deep dive on Floyd Bannister here momentarily. As you can see, we've got Dan Petry on the mound. The current Mariners lineup only has 10 plate appearances against Petry. I suppose that's possible because Petry's been so often injured. So maybe that's realistic. I'm not sure. But Gumpy Gumpert not available today out of the pen. He had to go, I think, an inning and a third yesterday to help out Dave Rozema, who was pulled early. Let's take a look at our lineup. We've had to mix the lineup today as well. Whitaker and Brett were both listed as tired, and they're both left-handers, so we may as well pull them out with a left-hander on the mound. Jody Reed will play second. Doug Baker will play third. We'll give Lance Parrish another start at catcher. When the game's over, I will show you our finances, and we'll start talking about trades that we need to make or payroll we need to try to cut. Because we're through a month of the year, and that's the time I start thinking about sending people down, bringing people up, and maybe what trades we need to make in order to financially be stable in a season where we're already struggling. So, okay, let's take a look here at the lineup rundown for the Seattle Mariners. It appears to be the same as yesterday. Batting leadoff, playing second base is Harold Reynolds. Batting second at shortstop is Spike Owen. Batting third at first base is Alvin Davis. Batting cleanup in left field is Ricardo SAENZ. Batting fifth and catching is Tom PAGNOZZI. Batting sixth at third base is Tom DODD. Batting seventh in center field is Dave Henderson. Batting eighth and DHing is Dick Schofield. And batting ninth in right field is Ricky Nelson. Okay, let's take a little closer look here at Dan Petry. He is making his 6th start of the year. He's 2-1 with that 2.97 ERA. Only 12 strikeouts in 30 and a third innings pitched. Opponents are batting .277 against him. No complete games, no shutouts. His fastball tops out at 89 miles an hour. Ground ball percentage is 46%. He's got 4 pitches in the arsenal, a fastball rated a 90 and a slider that's an 82. Those are his 2 best pitches. Overall, rated an 89, the 25-year-old righty goes to free agency in 1986. So a couple years to go on that. If you're looking at his log, you'll see his first 5 starts. He's got back-to-back wins. That's a good sign. Going 5 1/3 versus Boston and 7 against New York. Okay, let's take a look at our defense today. Solid all the way around, considering that we have Jody Reed at second base, and we have Doug Baker at third base. So maybe an upgrade defensively at third, but certainly Doug Baker is no George Brett. Our outfield is solid. We got my large adult son behind the plate. Okay, here we go. Harold Reynolds leading off against Dan Petry. Let's see how it goes today. Yesterday, every leadoff hitter got a hit. So it's a good sign that we got Reynolds. Petry getting a ground ball to Jody Reed, testing him out early. There's 1 down. Here's Spike Owen. He went deep yesterday. Another one to Jody Reed. 2 quick outs for Petry. And yesterday's Seattle hero, Alvin Davis, he had a 6th home run and a double. You could add to that. And he's going to fly out, well, I guess it'll be shallow left field, where our third baseman Baker makes the catch. We go to the bottom of the first inning. Let's take a look at the Tigers lineup rundown. Batting leadoff in left field is Kirk Gibson. Batting second at shortstop is Alan Trammell. Batting third at first base is Greg Brock. Batting cleanup in right field is Glenn Wilson. Batting fifth and DHing is Ken Smith. Batting sixth in center field is Chet Lemon. Batting seventh and catching is Lance Parrish. Batting eighth at second base is Jody Reed. And batting ninth at shortstop is Doug Baker. Okay, Floyd Bannister. Excuse me. A lot to tell you about Floyd Bannister. We have covered him before, and so you maybe hear some of the same stuff here. But I think he's a very interesting pitcher. He was a number 1 overall draft pick, a 1 of 1 in 1976 by the Houston Astros out of Arizona State University, just up the road from me here. He finished 4th in 1977 in Rookie of the Year in the National League. And for whatever reason, he just did not pan out for Houston. They traded him to Seattle, and you're probably like, well, who did they get in return for a 1 of 1? It was Craig Reynolds, Seattle sent back to Houston, who was a 80 OPS plus hitter for his career. Now, in his defense, Craig Reynolds was a 2-time All-Star in 78 and 79 for Seattle and then for Houston. So, at least at that point of Craig Reynolds' career, he was a pretty decent hitter. Bannister went on to be an All-Star for the Mariners in 1982. He also led the American League with 209 strikeouts. In 1984, in real life, he went 14-11 with a 4.83 ERA. Twice he led the American League in strikeouts per 9 innings. His son, Brian Bannister, played 5 years in the majors for the Mets and Kansas City. Brian Bannister also finished 3rd in Rookie of the Year for the Royals, going 12-9. Overall, a pretty solid career for the Mariners and the White Sox. The Mariners just let him go to free agency in 1983, which is how he got to the White Sox. And Bannister pitched until he was 36 years old, kind of becoming a left-handed journeyman. This year, you'll see here that he is making his 6th start. He's 2-2 with that 4.04 ERA. Only 22 strikeouts in 35 and 2/3 innings pitched. Opponents batting .228 against him. No complete games. Fastball topping out at 89 miles an hour. Ground ball percentage is 42.3%. That fastball is his best pitch. It's rated an 84. Overall, he's rated a 78. The 28-year-old lefty, making almost $1 million, doesn't go to free agency until 1985. Okay, let's take a look here at the defense for the Mariners. Same as yesterday, really the only blemish is in left field with Ricardo SAENZ. Otherwise, pretty solid everywhere. We've got Gibby leading off. Gibby in a huge slump. His average has dropped down to 255. And he's only had one home run all month of April. Striking out, looking. One out. Here is Alan Trammell. Trammell, 6 for 10 with a home run against Floyd Bannister. High fly ball to center field. 351 feet. Just allowed out. 2 down. And lefty on lefty action here for Greg Brock. Striking out. Wow. So Bannister strikes out 2 of the first 3 Tigers. We go to the top of the second inning. Ricardo SAENZ leading off. SAENZ batting .305, 6 home runs. And Petry gets a rare strikeout. 1 down. The nozzle, Tom PAGNOZZI, batting .285, 5 home runs. Everybody in their lineup has a home run but Harold Reynolds. Back-to-back strikeouts for Petry. I would not be surprised if those were the only 2 strikeouts he gets. He's only averaging 2 strikeouts a game. And I'm wrong! He strikes out the side! What the hell, man? All right. That was unpredictable. We go to the bottom of the second inning. We got Glenn Wilson leading off. We got to get something going here. I don't know why Wilson cannot hit lefties as a right-hander. Batting .154 so far this year. He pulls it to third. Tom Dodd boots it. Actually, he throws it away. A 2-base error for Wilson. And we have the first base runner of the game. He's in scoring position for Ken Smith. Let's see if Kenny can move him along. Nope. Strike it out. 1 down. Here's Chet Lemon. Lemon 6 for 18 against Bannister. 4 strikeouts in there. There we go. Hey, he goes to right field. That'll get Wilson in. Possibly a triple for Lemon. I didn't think he was going to go to third. That is his first triple of the year. His first triple since 1982. And the Tigers are up 1-0. That's an unearned run. So that's not going to hurt Bannister's ERA, which is already high. We've got a runner at third. And Lance Parrish at the plate. Parrish just struggling in so many ways. Striking out. I think Parrish is going to be the first to go, no matter how much it pains me. And Jody Reed will fly out to center. All right, well, we get a run. It was unearned. But the triple by Lemon will give us the lead, 1-0. An unexpected second inning. Not only did Petry strike out the side, but Lemon gets his first triple in 2 years. We go to the top of the third. Dave Henderson leading off. Henderson goes opposite field. Fly ball, 1 down. Dick Schofield, that power hitting super speed DH. 2-2 count, and Petry strikes him out. Okay, we got to do this now. I'm sorry. We have to. I want to know. And I know this is annoying, but let's pull up Dick Schofield. I never do this, so I apologize. But I have to see this with my own eyes. Oh, Dick Schofield is the uncle of Jason Worth. I did not know that. Okay, he had 56 career home runs. So it's not like he never hit a home run. And he did have 120 stolen bases in his career. Hell, he even got some MVP votes way back in '86. In '84, he had 4 home runs and 5 stolen bases. And he's got a 90 and 92. All right. I do apologize. I never do that. I just had to see because it annoys me that a guy would have those ratings. It makes no sense. And be a DH. But he did have double-digit home runs once. All right. Okay, we're back at it here. That was just a pause in the action. And Ricky Nelson will fly out to left. So Petry, 4 strikeouts through 3 innings. This is all very unlike everyone so far. Doug Baker leading off. Baker batting .231 this year. And he'll get a base at the left. Do we want to stretch it to a double? I want to, but I won't. We're going to say no. Baker's got decent speed. It would be a risk. The nozzle, the hose. Oh, gosh, he's only a 78 arm. That's terrible. I don't know. We got to let Gibby take a cut here. There's nobody out. And with Gibby slumping big time. Oh, we get a balk from Floyd Bannister. That's stupid as hell. That's just so dumb. So we have a runner in scoring position. Well, can he at least pull it to the right side and get Baker over to third? No, he can't. So our one run was scored on an error, because of an error, and now we have a runner in scoring position because of a balk. Can we just not string a few hits together? Baker will go to third on the ground ball by Whitaker. It will be up to Greg Brock to get him in. He struck out the first time up. He normally does not bat versus lefties, but he's batting .333. We cannot take him out. Oh, he strikes out on that inside pitch. So no surprises here. We go to the top of the 4th inning. Pitchers seem to be in control. Here's Harold Reynolds, second time through the lineup. There we go. Petry walks him. You walk the leadoff guy. He's sure to score. We're going to pull third base in. I don't know if Spike Owen will drop it like it's hot, but he did hit a home run yesterday. So maybe he's just going to be swinging away. And pulls it to second. Can we turn 2? It's a lot of speed. Yeah, we're asking a lot there from a backup infielder. 1 down. Here is Alvin Davis. Owen on first. 1-1 count. And a base hit to right. Owen, will he go to third? Nope. Not going to run on Glenn Wilson. This does set up a possible double play with Ricardo SAENZ. I want to say he's not necessarily prone to doing it. He only had 14 last year in a full season. 1-2 count to SAENZ, and Petry strikes him out. It's 5 Ks for Petry. This might be the tougher batter, though. PAGNOZZI had a great breakout year last year, only batting .237 versus right-handers. And the ground ball to first. Brock stepping on the bag. Petry gets out of it. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning. A pitcher's duel, I guess you would say, with Glenn Wilson at the plate. Wilson, Smith, and Lemon. Wilson grounding out to third. Kenny Smith walks. There's the first walk issued from Bannister. We are going through this stretch where nobody's hitting. Like we've been no hit or a perfect game through 5 for about 5 games in a row. So all of our team batting averages, for the most part, are dropping back to their means. I guess I'm kind of glad it's happening now. I'm sure we'll start the next month and we'll probably tear it up. But this is what happens in the game. It's predictable in this way. Lemon and Parrish strikes out. Gosh, Parrish is so bad. He's actually unplayable. We've been saying it all month, but like I said, I like to try to get statistically like a player a whole month to really determine whether they're terrible or not. And Parrish is really terrible. Like, I mean, he's unplayable. Which is crazy, right? Now, I know our Seattle Pilots is a different era. We're playing 1969, right? And we have McNerney as our catcher, a guy with a 66 rating. Parrish is a 74, which is horrible. But I think 74 rating in 1984 is like bottom of the barrel for that era. 66 rating for McNerney in 69, coming off the year of the pitcher, is probably not that horrible. I mean, clearly he performed well over a full season, starting 130 plus games. So, you know, I guess it's maybe based on, you know, stadium effects and overall park effects. Petry looking good. Getting a pop-up from the DH, Dick Schofield. We go to the bottom of the fifth inning. Here we go, Jody Reed. Leading off, he's 0 for 1. Ground ball to second, and an error by the second baseman, Harold Reynolds, that allows the leadoff guy to get on. We're kind of getting all of our things going our way. We'll try to lay down a sack bunt. We tried it twice yesterday, and it didn't work. Oh, that was in the Pilots game, though, wasn't it? I'm getting my games mixed up on my days. Good job by Baker getting Reed over. Gibson showed nothing today for us. He's averaged down to 250. That'll get Reed to third. Let's see if TRAMMELL could come through. He's 6 for 12 in his career versus Floyd. And a ground ball to short. It's a 1-0 ball game headed to the top of the 6th. Petry's earned the right. He's only throwing 59 pitches. I mean, you got to keep him going, right? Especially if he's getting it done. Number 9 hitter Ricky Nelson popping up. Nelson, he's got 4 home runs, but his average dropped to 175 with that out. Back to the top of the lineup. Here's Harold Reynolds. He walked the last time up, and he walks again. This is the 3rd time through the lineup. And Petry's walked Reynolds twice. He's got to be going, right? Why would he not be running here, down a run? Pretty slow. Here we go. Owens with a base hit into center field. It is now 1st and 2nd, 1 down. Looks like Petry, despite only throwing 74 pitches, has kind of run out of gas here. Alvin Davis. Oh, he gets him on that changeup. 6 Ks for Petry. Reached back and found something there. This is the test here, though. It's Ricardo's SAENZ. And off the end of the bat, a weak pop-up. Caught by Brock at first, and Petry looking good against the Mariners. Scored 9 runs yesterday. Should have saved some of those runs. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Greg Brock leading off. 1-0 count to Brock. Yeah, nobody's getting hits off the lefty today. No lefties are getting hits. So much for that strategy. Wilson doesn't hit lefties anyway as a righty. And Kenny Smith, at least he walked today versus a lefty who strikes out. 7 Ks for Bannister, 13 strikeouts for the starting pitchers today. Going to the top of the 7th. Tom PAGNOZZI walks. All right. So Petry's 3rd walk, that had to happen. He's only given up 2 hits. So he's probably going to give up another hit this inning. Or maybe another walk, I suppose. Will it be Tom Dodd? Nope. Petry striking him out. I can't imagine Petry throwing a shutout under these circumstances. Dave Henderson a strikeout. What is going on? Petry came into the game with 12 strikeouts total. He's got 8 today. Here's Dickey. come on. Come on. He has struck out the side twice today. That is so dumb. I can't even believe it. We'll take it, though. Chet Lemon leading off. He's had 20 at bats versus Bannister. A lot of those had to come when he was with Milwaukee. There's a ground ball from Lemon. Yeah, nothing is happening today. Here's Parrish. Oh, no way, he made contact. That's amazing. He was 0 for 5 with 4 strikeouts before that contact hit there, or out. And then Jody Reed, a blooper into center field. It will be caught by the center fielder, Dave Henderson. Moving on to the 8th inning. He's at 100 pitches. This is a risky territory for Petry. Did he have any complete games last year? Oh, he had 2. Those were his first 2 since 1979. But he is capable. And why not? A comebacker. Petry tossing him out. That was a 3-1 count. I fully expected him to walk the leadoff guy there. Here's Harold Reynolds, speaking of a guy that walks. He's 0 for 1 with 3 walks in his career versus Petry. A 1-2 count. Fly ball to right. They are just making no solid contact at all when they do make contact. 2 down. Spike Owen strikes out. Come on. 10 Ks for Petry. Unbelievable. I need a drink of my coffee to celebrate that. That's amazing. All right. Here's Doug Baker. He's only 1 for 1 with a sacrifice bunt today. Got 1 of the 2 hits. He gets jammed inside, popping it up right near the second base bag. Who caught it? The shortstop did. Owen. 1 out. Okay, Gibby. Show us something here, buddy. Nope, he gets jammed inside. Both of these starting pitchers. Oh, it's in the 3rd error by the Mariners. They have more errors than hits today. PAGNOZZI dropped that ball in fair territory, apparently. Okay, we got to hit and run here. We got to get something going on. If Bannister wasn't left-handed, I'd send Gibby. But we're going to hit and run instead. Good job by Trammell waiting on that curveball. That's not going to get it done, so we are going to attempt to steal now with 2 down. 72% chance. PAGNOZZI has a bad arm, but we do have a lefty on the mound. Keeping an eye on Gibby. This is going to be tough. Right down the middle. And he steals second base. Whoa, Gibby. Double-digit stolen bases already this year in April. He's 10 for 11. So he contributes despite having a bad game. Here's Greg Brock. He's 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. 2-1 count. Off the end of the bat into left center field. That will not get it done. All right, well, we tried. We are going to the 9th inning. Petry is tired. Oh, man. We need the win, right? I mean, Petry has certainly earned the right to close this game out. But it's 3, 4, and 5 coming up. And any one of these guys could go deep to tie it. We got to take Petry out. He pitched great. He deserves the win. Really does. I mean, that's all that matters. We got to get the win. So we're going to bring in Dave Rucker to face Alvin Davis. Rucker pitched yesterday, but only 2/3 of an inning. Lefty on lefty, but Davis hits lefties. So far he has. A 2-0 count. Fly ball to center field. Solid contact. 375 feet. That's allowed out, and we'll bring in Dave Smith to close out the ball game. He's 0-1 with 5 saves this year. How many blueies does he have? He's got a bluey. I don't have a ton of confidence in Dave Smith. He did give up a run yesterday, but he is our closer. Here's Ricardo SAENZ, a 2-2 count, and Smith strikes him out. 11 Mariners strikeouts today, and it's down to the nozzle. PAGNOZZI never faced Dave Smith. Fly ball into center field, and it will be caught, and that is the ball game. Tigers win 1-0. Handshakes, butt slaps, sloppy steaks. I think we got to give player of the game to the pitcher. We almost never do that. Oh, a trade offer. The Giants are offering us Bob Brenly, so they're throwing in the towel, for Scotty Madison. We cannot take on salary. That's our problem. Bob Brenly, he is a 30-year-old catcher. The game doesn't think he is, though. He is a catcher, but the game is just messed up, of course. They think he's a third baseman, which he never did. This is not a trade that we need. Scotty Madison, could not care less. And Scotty Madison did catch in the minors for Detroit, but he's not somebody that. I don't care about Scotty Madison. He could be traded any day, but that's just not a trade we need. So let's take a look here. I want to show you this. Let's take a look at finances. All right, there are two teams that are in trouble. The Texas Rangers currently have no cash. They are $500,000 in debt. And the Baltimore Orioles, after today's game, are now $30,000 in the red. And what that means is they cannot sign free agents. They cannot re-sign their own free agents. They can give arbitration contracts to their players. But also what that means is, let's use Texas as an example here. We'll look at their budget. Sorry. We're looking at their expenses. They cannot spend any money on medical, scouting, or their farm system. So, they're putting Band-Aids on their cervical disc issues, right? Everyone's got a cervical disc injury in this game. So they're not getting to the tub. There's no ice tubs. There's no saunas, or there's none of that stuff in the facility. There's not even a doctor. It's just the janitor wearing a lab coat. There's really nothing happening for either one of those teams. And so it's just a matter of time before the injury bug bites these teams. But furthermore, if you're not spending any money on your farm system, no one is getting developed. That's why you're not seeing anybody in the 80s here other than Glenn Braggs. That's why you're not seeing anybody with an 80 other than Tom Dunbar in the majors. None of these players are developing. So do they have any injuries? No current injuries for the hitters. And they have a few 80s for pitchers and no injuries for pitchers. But it's just a matter of time before that team, as the season progresses, falls apart. And the same with Baltimore. We already know that Baltimore, they have no pitchers on their team because they've been dealing with revenue issues all since 1980. That's why they have no pitchers. They just can't sign him. That's why they're hanging on to Jim Palmer in AAA with a 60, because they don't have anyone else they can go with. Tim Stoddard is injured. He'll be back in 43 games. But as the season goes on and they are not able to trade, and take on payroll, they may have to get rid of some of these high-end players. Like Alan Ramirez is making $1.1 million. He's a free agent at the end of the year. He's going to be let go. They won't be able to sign him if they hang on to him. They may as well trade him, but as of right now, they won't. and he's like an asset. Would save them money and maybe bring back some, some AAA level quality players, or at least give them some depth in the bullpen. Anyway, I noticed that before the game started. I wanted to share that with you. Tigers win 1-0. Let's take a look at the standings real quick. It's good that we finished the month at least in the positive with a 14-12 record. That's terrible, though. I'm incredibly disappointed in our team. But we're in the same division with Boston and New York, who are off to huge starts, and Baltimore, I think it's only a matter of time before they fall because of their, the revenue issue. Oakland technically has the best record in the American League with a 60-80 winning percentage. They've won 3 in a row. Minnesota in last place. There is some changes occurring here in the West. California doing well for the first time in a while. Let's take a look at the National League. Philadelphia just will not be stopped. They have a 704 winning percentage. And it's going to be interesting to see how the West plays out because there's 3 good teams there. Okay, let's take a look at the headline news. Brainiac Baseball Daily Beat. Boston's Andahar. Oh, he was on our team last year. He throws a shutout. We couldn't get anything from him. Look at his scouting report. We tried. We gave him 14 starts, and he was horrible. That was right after Blyleven got injured, and we were doing so well. Blyleven was 7-1, so we went and got Andahar from Houston. We gave up a buttload of people that we really liked to try to get him, and then he was terrible. And we actually just cut him. We didn't even trade him. We cut him, and San Diego signed him, and he pitched great. So I don't know. Maybe it's me. And then somebody named Tom Klowitter. I think he's the ace of Minnesota. He shut out Texas. Everybody was throwing shutouts today. And there's Petry dominating the Mariners with a 2-hitter. He was dominating. He's the player of the game. Absolutely. Transactions. Were there any more trades? No. Oh, no. Ron Romanick injured for the Angels. This guy has the lowest health I think I've ever seen in any sim I've ever played. He is always injured. He made 31 starts last year. But yeah, he's missed 4 months, 2 months, 4 months. Only 6 days in 1983. That's why he pitched 31 games. And now he's missed 2 weeks this year. And if he didn't, he'd be a great pitcher in this game. But the injury bug must live in his house. So, okay, that's going to do it. Let's pull up the box score and get out of here. Thanks for watching, guys. Like and or subscribe to the channel. We'll be back and try to do the League Leaders video later on today, much later, I'm sure. The Mariners had more errors than either team had hits. This is probably the shortest box score you're ever going to see. Petry gets the win. He is the player of the game. He struck out double digits after only throwing 12 strikeouts all year. That is a wacky turn of events. I guess it was due to happen. Dave Smith gets a 6th save. Floyd Bannister wants to know what the hell he had to do. He didn't even give up an earned run. The only run scored because of an error on Glenn Wilson's triple. And then again, one of the 4 hits was a triple. That's weird. But we'll take the victory, and that's going to do it for today. So we'll come back later today with Game 3 of the ALCS between the Baltimore Orioles and the Seattle Pilots. Until then, everyone, have a great day.